What do?
Oh, did you get rid of that thing there? Hey, everybody. How's it going? Time check time. Can everybody hear me okay? Just double checking. Oh, boy. That, that's Bev ringing the jingle bells if you couldn't figure it out. Oh, that's great. So why don't you switch to us? So enjoy this shot. You're going to see a lot of this shot tonight, but let's Bev and I say hi. How you doing? This is a real treat for a lot of you because those of you who come to our regular classes, Bev is always this enigmatic figure who sits over there at the computer, throwing switches and moving camera angles around and stuff like that. So it's a real pleasure to have her here sitting next to me. Very comforting to have her here sitting next to me. Good to see all of you. I'm just very excited about this party tonight. Very different from anything we've done in the past. The last time we did a big event like this was for our food processor pie dough class, but that was no party. It was a good time, but it was no party. So this is very special. It's easier when we have a smaller group to acknowledge everybody who's joining us tonight, joining us for the classes. But this is going to be a big crowd, I think. Can we see how many people are up? Do we have any idea how many people?
Right now.
Yeah. So we have a lot of you. It's going to be hard to acknowledge all of you, but individually. But I'll just say this: how grateful we are for each and every one of you to have you here. It's very, very special for us to have this big party, and like I've said so many times in the classes, you guys are like one big family to us. So this is like, just think of it as a family Christmas party. So.
Okay, so we're in from, let's see, Boston.
Oh, by the way, Bev
Florida, Walla Walla, Washington.
Hi, Susan. I see some very familiar names up there. That's
LA.
Great. Hi, Pam. By the way, Bev is not mic'd up. I am, but I'll be leaning in close to Bev so you can hear what she says. We're a little bit low on the appropriate mics tonight, so hopefully just by leaning in closer, you'll be able to hear what she's saying. Why don't you switch to? Oh, I see Pat Severance's name. I see Jennifer Young.
Yep.
All of our good friends here from our regular classes and hopefully a lot of new folks whose name we haven't seen here before. So
from here to California.
Yeah.
And I think I saw Canada.
What is Rebecca? I see Rebecca saying. What does Rebecca have to say there?
Let's see here.
Oh, hi there. Hi, Rebecca.
From Surprise, Arizona.
Oh, very good.
Ooh.
Oh, very good. Thank you. That's very sweet of you to say so, Rebecca. We appreciate that. Anybody else? Let's scroll down and see if we... Oh, hi, Bobby. Bobby Midkiff is here. She's our old friend from North Carolina, one of the graduates of our in-person Pie Academy getaways. So it's always good to see Bobby here. And Michelle. Hi, Michelle. I call them our Michelles because we have at least two and possibly more Michelles in the Pie Academy.
And Peggy.
Hi, Peggy.
And we have Austin, Texas.
Roseanne, how are you doing? Very well, I hope. Oh, Big Al is here. Hi, Al. How from Delaware. All of many familiar names and some we haven't seen here before. So that's wonderful. It's nice to have you here. Let's take a look, sweetie, at the overhead shot here, and take a look. I mean, this is a party, so we're going to be talking a lot about food tonight. We have several things planned for tonight. We sort of have an agenda. It's a party. We want to keep it loose. We're not going to get up and start dancing or anything, but we do want to keep it loose.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah. And Bev says, "Oh, shucks." And we want to keep it loose and, be able to flow from one thing to another. But we have a good idea of what we'd like to do here. First, we want to talk about the food, most of which will look familiar to our baking class regulars because much of this we've done in classes in the past, but I've given some of the things a twist, so that'll be interesting to just talk about it. And by the way, I'm just talking tonight. There's no demonstration or cooking involved tonight, but we're going to talk about cooking. So that's one thing we're going to do. We're also going to, what else are we going to do? We're going to give stuff away. We always like to give stuff away. So we'll, oh yeah, Bev has been waiting to do that. Anytime you hear that tonight, it means we're going to give something away. So that's.
It also means there may be a gold star.
Oh yeah, we'll
we like to give those out.
Yeah, we are actually giving out gold stars tonight. And we're going to stick them in our stocking here, and your name will go twice then for a possibility of, yeah, see, it's right here.
It's full of names.
It's full of names, yeah.
And if you get a gold star, I will write your name on a piece of paper, and you get an extra chance at winning one of the gifts.
So we're gonna give stuff away. So that's another thing we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about our food, and we're also we have all kinds of gift ideas for maybe for you and maybe for your favorite cooks or pie bakers. So we have some ideas there, and we've got a couple of videos to help illustrate some of the things you see here. And what else? Oh, we have a big announcement, a big special announcement that most of you don't know about, but some of you who've been to our recent classes have heard about it, and that's all I'm going to say about it right now. So we've got a lot to get done tonight. But first, let me explain, especially. But first. First a toast. Yeah, this is a good idea. I just have to find my beverage. This is a toast to all of you guys out there. We so appreciate you and everything you've done to support us and stay in touch with us. Send us your wonderful photos, which I never get tired of seeing your great photos. The baking things we've made, especially the pies. So this toast is for you because you make this possible, and without you guys, who knows what we'd be doing? We'd be living the low life instead of living the high life. So here's a toast to all of you. By the way, doesn't Bev look stunning tonight? She just came back from a high tea, so she was dressed to the nines, and she came back a little while ago, and we finished all the last minute preparations. So you look great. Just had to say that. She looks really stunning. How I ever ended up with such a stunner, I don't know. I guess I just got lucky.
20 years.
20 years. Oh, that's right. 20 years this past week. So it's our anniversary week.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's. For those of you,
we have a couple from Canada.
For those of you who are new, and excuse my glasses from time to time, I know that we get a glare on them. For those of you who are new and haven't seen our link pages before, let me just explain a little bit about what they're all about. These link page we sent you, it had all the different buttons on it. Hopefully you got my email about printing out the recipes. So with any luck, you have those in front of you, because we're going to talk about the recipes, and that'll be very handy to have those there. The second batch of links was it's about all the products and things like that that we use in the Pie Academy. And some of these, as you probably guessed, are things that we're going to talk about tonight, maybe gift ideas. So we'll talk about those too, and all those buttons, all those links take you to the product on Amazon. And finally, that last set of links was about things that we're going to mention tonight. Some of these things are from previous classes, so I've indicated those on there in case you're interested, and also a couple of my courses, my legacy courses are on here. So I just wanted to give you a brief overview of that, so you wouldn't be, you figure out what they are. So let's let's start talking about some of our good stuff here. Sweetie, why don't you switch to the overhead camera. This, there you go. This is one of my favorite dishes right here. I'm going to use my hands and pull this a little bit further this way. And I don't think we need to pull the whole board, but this obviously is the recipe for the salmon tart. And this is such a nice tart. Not only is it a nice tart for this time of year, because, you know, at least around here, smoked salmon is kind of a special thing. We don't eat it all the time, but especially around the holidays, if we're having people over, or we're doing a brunch or something like that, it's nice to do this smoked salmon tart. And this particular pan, of course, you can do it in a round tart pan, and like a 9.5-inch tart pan. You probably all have one of those. If not, maybe you should think about getting one. But this is a particularly cool pan that I really like. This is a 14 by 4.5-inch pan that I do this in. In fact, let me bring it into the shot here. And that's what this guy looks like right here. This is a Wilton. If you buy any sort of tart pans, it's hard to go wrong with the Wilton name. And when I buy these tart pans, one of the things I like to do is I like to get the dark finish rather than the shiny finish, because so often with the shiny finish, and maybe you've noticed this with some of your tarts or pie pans, they don't brown as well. And this tart in this pan browns really, really nicely. So that's one of the reasons I like this. Of course, like most tart pans of this nature, it has a removable bottom. So whenever you're pre-baking or partially pre-baking this crust, or baking the tart, please make sure that you have the whole thing on a rimmed baking sheet. So you don't want your butter oozing out of the bottom of this thing and into your oven. And a lousy way to spend a weekend cleaning that up. So in fact, one of the things we have we like to do is have commercials during our baking classes, and so I made a commercial. I call them commercials. It basically, they're little videos to help illustrate a point or to emphasize a point. So I made a little video about tart shells and pie shells for this type of pan, for anything that's squared off like this. And this pertains to square pans. You may have one that's square or rectangular like this, or this also pertains to something that a lot of us do these days, which is to make slab pies. So the same principles apply that you're going to see in this video I just made for you. It's about I think 2.5-3 minute video. So I'm going to have Bev show that to you right now. And that is the bottom one right there, sweetie.
All righty.
I want to show you a little trick that'll come in handy when you're rolling dough for a slab pie or a square or a rectangular tart, like the smoked salmon tart we made for our party. It's based on the simple idea that if you're rolling out a dough to fit a squared off pan, it's better to start with something squarish than roundish. My go-to dough is the all-butter food processor dough featured in the free food processor pie dough class I did a while back. If you didn't see it, I've included the link on the link page that you received. I placed 3 long overlapping sheets of plastic wrap on my counter and emptied the dough into the middle. I know the dough looks crumbly, but it's supposed to, and I talk all about this in the free class. Now I grab opposite sides of the plastic and begin to gather and compress the dough into a rectangle or a square. Notice that as I bring up the sides, my knuckles pretty much meet and I press down forcefully. Don't worry, this won't hurt the dough. In fact, the dough kind of finds it reassuring that you're the strong, silent type. So you keep doing this for about a minute until you have a pretty tidy square of dough. Then fold it up in the plastic wrap, leaving about 1/2 inch of slack on all sides. Now take your rolling pin and roll the dough inside the plastic, pushing it up against the edges. The dough will square up even more. When you're done, it should be about 3/4 of an inch thick or slightly thinner. refrigerate the dough in the plastic for at least an hour or until it's ready to roll. Now I'm going to show you how nicely the dough rolls out and how we get it into our rectangular tart pan. But rather than keep blabbing away here, I think I'll just play some nice holiday music. I hope that's okay with you. Enjoy.
Ready.
So what'd you think of that? I hope that helps. I just think, it's so funny. It's kind of weird to think about, rolling a round pie dough and getting it to fit. I see videos of people trying to do that all the time or hear about it. It's just so much easier if you start with a squared up dough like that. So just keep that little tip in mind next time you're making like a tart like this or a slab pie. While we're on the subject of this salmon tart, this is really not freezing. I don't. I'm not a big fan of freezing a lot of things, but this will refrigerate very well. So if you have guests coming, say you're doing a brunch, a New Year's brunch, or a Christmas brunch or something like this, you can make this a couple of days ahead of time. Don't make it 3 if you can. Help it, but you want it to be nice and fresh. So make it 1 or 2 days ahead of time. Put it in the fridge. Just leave it right in the pan, and it'll be in great shape. And then when it's time to reheat it, all you do is you put it back on your baking sheet and put it in a low oven, like a 300-degree oven, for about 15 minutes, and that'll take the cold edge off it and make it lukewarm, maybe 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, something like that. So while we're talking, what does that mean?
That means someone is up for a gold star.
Oh, somebody's up for a gold star. Who's that? Who is it?
Susan Dreamer.
Oh, Susan. Susan's wonderful. She made such a nice comment there. We decided to give her a gold star. So into the hat you go, Susan. That's not a hat, that's a stocking.
It's a stocking, yes.
Okay, so thanks for that, Susan. We really appreciate that.
Remember.
Okay.
And the name goes in here.
There you go.
Extra chance.
So while we're on the subject, this tart here, these mini tarts happen to be the same thing. You want to switch? There you go. So this is the same thing. It's the same tart, but what I did, excuse me while I lift this off here, I'm going to put this up here. What I did, instead of doing this in the rectangular tart pan, I did these as little muffin cups, little muffin pastry shells is what they are. And these are, when we do these things, and I really like these, Bev and I have an ongoing argument about what size is appropriate for parties. She always wants a 1-bite something. Maybe it's because I'm a guy, I always want a 2-bite something for a party. But I really like this size. It's just very, I don't know. It's just very too bitey. I mean, that's the way to go as far as I'm concerned. And it's the exact same recipe. All I did was chunk up the why don't you put the front camera on? I think we can get a better view of this in this camera.
How's that?
Yeah. All I did was I chunked up the salmon. I put a little bit of cheese in there, and you know, poured the custard in, and I mean, these are just such sweet little things. Yeah, this is not a 1-bite thing. This is definitely a 2-bite thing. But again, for a party, this might be just the ticket you're looking for.
Yeah.
And again, while I'm on the subject, I made a video. We're front-loaded all our videos tonight, or at least these two. I made a video about the little tool that I use to. I guess we should.
That's really been popular.
Yeah, there's a little tool that I use to help make these little tartlet pastry shells. Let me show you. In fact, why don't you? There we go.
Yeah.
Right here. This is the fun little item right here. And this was one of those things when we used this in class, and I put the link up. I can't tell you how many people sent for this thing and told me how much they like it. This is the end right here that we use, the business end. This is for the smaller. This is the Bev size one. This is for the smaller tartlets down here, different size pan. But I just wanted to show you how I do these little tartlet shells using this nice little tamper. It's called a tamper. And the reason we have a ribbon on it like this is we thought this would be a nice gift idea if you know of a pastry baker or a pie maker. It just sort of expands their horizons when you have something like this. This is not to say you couldn't cut circles and just sort of, you know, push them down into the pan, but this does such a nice job, as you're going to see it.
And even, too.
Oh, and very
They're
even.
all the same.
And you're going to see this, what I'm talking about, in this next video. So that's the second video right here, sweetie. So enjoy.
Hang on just a second.
Oh, okay.
Pat has a question. Is the dill on top baked on, or is it fresh? It is fresh, and it's baked on.
It is fresh, and it's baked on right here.
Let me get this.
If you're talking about these here, yes, that was fresh.
Don't they look like little Christmas trees?
Yeah, and they do. You'd probably look like upside down Christmas trees for you. But I put those on there, and the same here. Although with these, what I did was I finely chopped the dill and put it in with the custard. So let's show you this.
Wait a minute, how long? Linda wants to know how long to cook the smaller tarts.
Well, the smaller ones, I usually start the smaller ones out on the lower rack, very close to the bottom, because to really give them some nice blast of heat. And then I like to do 15 minutes there, and then I'll move them up for like 10 minutes. And maybe 15 minutes. And if the tops, sometimes because they sit down inside those muffin cups, sometimes they won't brown like they should, or like real nicely like these here. So what I'll do is I'll turn the broiler on for the last couple of minutes. Keep a real close eye on them if you're going to do that, but that'll brown the top. Anyway, take a look at this video and tell me what you think. It's this
muffin cup?
Yeah, enjoy this. So what'd you think? What'd you think of that? It was a lot of fun. I thought maybe you'd be falling asleep by now, so I put some peppy Christmas music in there. And we have another gold star we want to give
Yes,
to Carol. Carol Gibbs, you want to move that onto the screen?
I do.
Carol evidently has been making this for her book group, which means she's been using the cookbook and the recipes. So she gets a gold star for that, and we appreciate that, Carol. Thanks so much.
And
I hope
sharing
things,
it with other book
yeah,
lovers.
right, and sharing it with other book lovers. So I hope things are going good for you up there in Vermont. Wonderful time of year to be in Vermont. So, so that's, by the way, that cutter that I used for these tartlets, you can see they're how they're not real tall. They're about as tall as half of the depth of the muffin cup. That cutter was a 3.5-inch cutter that I used. So keep that in mind if you're looking for the right cutter in your cabinet. So we still have lots to do. So let's move on and talk about our cookies right here. Why don't you show our cookies, sweetie? Here's a nice plate of cookies, and these may also look familiar to those of you who took our summer cookie class this past summer. We did a few cookies in that class, and this was one that I know is very popular. I can always tell that it's very popular because people send me lots of pictures. I know Al I think Al told me that he brought a whole batch of these out on a trip out west from east, from Delaware. So I know several of you sent me photos of these. So these will be very familiar. And the reason there's a branch of rosemary here is because this corresponds. These are the recipe you should have in front of you or should be looking at is the rosemary lemon shortbread cookies. Now you may be wondering about these big...
He's really not giving homework assignments right now.
No,
okay, good.
So if you're wondering what these big chunks are in here, why don't you put the front camera on here?
That's pretty good.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Okay. If you're wondering about these big chunks, that's probably too big to be rosemary, right? And you're absolutely right. You can see the little rosemary flecks in there. But we give these cookies sort of a holiday personality by, and this is, you might want to make this note on your recipe, just before I pull the dough out of the food processor, and before the last couple of pulses, I throw in a big handful of dried cranberries, sweetened dried cranberries, craisins. That's the brand name if you're shopping for those. And instead of the lemon rind, or in addition to the lemon rind, I use a lot of orange zest instead of lemon zest, or in addition to. And it gives these cookies such a nice flavor.
Oh, they smelled so
Let me break one open. You can take, and this is, it's classic shortbread. It tastes, it's buttery, it's crumbly, it's everything a shortbread cookie should be. And this is one of those things where we'll jump the gun here a little bit and talk about giving these as a gift. This would be such a nice, can we show these now, sweetie?
Sure.
Okay. This would be such a nice gift item for, someone on your holiday list. Okay. This would be such a nice item for someone on your holiday list. Just a stack of these, stack this way or stack that way. Bev put some nice just tissue in here. And I just think that's, I love to give cookies at the holidays, and this is one, shortbread cookie, they're really great keepers too. So think about doing that, and make a note on your recipe that I sent you about including those dried cranberries right at the end before you give your dough the last couple of pulses. So thanks for making that look so pretty, sweetie.
Oh, sure.
So what else did I have to? I guess I don't have much else to say about that recipe. That's one of my favors. Does anybody have anything to say? Oh, Al said something here. What do you have to say, Al?
Al said his friends and family, hang on, let me move that over to the screen.
Oh, yeah.
His friends and family just love the rosemary lemon cookies.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Al, for reminding us.
Yeah, and that chopped, bits of craisin
Uh-huh.
will be really
Yeah,
nice in
yeah.
there too. Hang on, he had something else to say. Where was it? There we go. Might be good with Christmas cookies cutters too.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a beautiful shortbread recipe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just so.
Yeah, you
good.
take the dough. These are fun to make. You take the dough, and when it comes out of your food processor, and it's one of these doughs that can take. It's very firm. You can't really overhandle it. It's not like a pie pastry where you have to be afraid of not to handle it too much. You take it and you roll it into a log, and then you take that log and you refrigerate it for I don't know, 5-6 hours until it's nice and firm. Oftentimes I just refrigerate it overnight. Then you cut it into nice thick slices and put those on your baking sheet. I like to use even though they're very buttery and they're not going to stick to any baking sheet, it's always, I use, now this is one case where I like to have a shiny sheet, and I'll even with my shiny sheet, I'll put the parchment.
3 times.
Yeah, shiny sheet. I'll even put the parchment down there just to give it a little bit more of a buffer, because you don't want the bottoms, you want to keep the bottoms nice. Ooh, that one's perfect there. You want to keep the bottoms nice and golden brown. You don't, with all that butter and sugar in there, they could brown a little too much. So anyway, so that's that. Oh, what's that mean?
I think I might have another gold star.
Oh, go ahead.
Linda says, no, sorry, I don't know why this is, hang on, Al. Well, hang on, let's see here. We're further away from where we normally are. Hang on.
You trying to drag that one off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think you just grab it and drag it.
No. Hang on. Oh, there we go. No, hang on. Hang on. Did have a gold star. It's coming.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
Linda Lovis. She needs to make those for her New Year's Eve open house.
Oh yeah, maybe
They
if we.
look delicious.
Okay, Linda. Maybe if we throw your name, give you a gold star, and throw your name in the
Gold star.
in the stocking, that'll be an extra incentive.
Linda Lovis. Here we go.
So what's up? What's up next?
And here we go.
Let's talk about our pies, our mini pies. This was one of our. I want you to switch the overhead, sweetie. This was one of our most popular classes from last year. Yeah. This was. Oops, sorry, knocked that right off here. Yeah, we did a class on these mini pies last year, and
That's taped.
yeah, it's,
The bottom
I got that. And we did 3 or 4 mini pies, and the name of the class was Mini Pies for Gift Giving and Entertaining. Let me lift this up a little bit. And these, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing, this is one of the best, as far as a baker goes, this is one of the best gifts you could make for your friends. These are just the perfect size for actually 2 people. This is kind of a big pie for 1 person. These are made in 4.5-inch foil pans, and those foil pans are really spectacular. I love these. In fact, this is one of the gifts we're going to give away. Not this one here, but we're going to send them.
We're not telling what the gifts are.
Well,
Remember? It's
well,
got to be a secret.
okay. Bev insists
Nobody knows.
we're going to draw names for presents, but apparently we're not going to say there's this secret Santa aspect to it. There's going to be a secret gift. So apparently, apparently we're going to give stuff away, but you're not going to know what you're getting until it arrives. But anyway, look at these things. These are these 4.5-inch foil pans that I love so much, and I bake all of our mini pans mini pies in these 4.5-inch pans, and they're like the perfect size for. Well, I guess it's a serving for one if you eat it over 2 days, but it's kind of big to eat all in one sitting. This class that we did 4 pies, I think. We did this one. This is the mini chocolate chip pies and walnut, mini chocolate chip and walnut pies. But we also did a fruit one. We did I think it was a cranberry cherry one that was really good. We also did a chocolate chess pie, and we did a lemon chess pie, all in these little pie pans. And like I said, this was a very, very popular class. I had a lot of people sending photos of these after the fact and telling me that they brought them to parties and events and things like that. So I don't have a video to show you about that, but I did want to say what a great party item this is if you're doing a party, if you're starting a bakery or pie bakery. This would be a great item to do.
Okay, I don't know if you can see the comments.
No, I don't see any comments.
Okay.
What do they say over here?
Well, you can do them in the 3-inch tarts, Inez says.
Oh, okay. I
And
know.
also, I see some mini pie recipes in Pie Academy, but I'd love an entire book of them.
Hint, hint. Okay, that's great.
And Holly, hey Holly.
Oh, hi, Holly.
They're perfect size to give to the neighbors.
Oh, Holly is another one of our graduates from our in-person getaways, and I believe Holly's not saying anything here, but I believe Holly has started her own pie business. So,
Yeah.
So I want to hear
they're
more
too.
about that, Holly.
Yeah.
What does Jerry say here? I
Let's
see
see
something
here.
from
Last
Jerry.
3 years I've made and given 20 fruit, mostly peach or plum, mini pies at this time of the year.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's great.
Ooh. Does that sound like a...
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that sounds like a gold star.
That's Jerry K.
Alrighty.
And I see Inez says that
Jerry.
a 4.5-inch is perfect with a cup of coffee. I agree with you, Inez. That would be perfect. Any size pie is perfect with a cup of coffee. What does our friend Hat Lover have to say here?
Ellen says, great idea, quilting Carol. I second the hint.
All right, very good. Actually, I am doing a course, an entire course, this year in 2023, and I want all of you to hold me to that. On mini pies, it's going to be a much expanded version of what we did in class, and I'll probably do maybe do a little self-published book to go with it as a companion. So that will be a lot of fun. And knowing just how much interest there's been in it, that will incentivize me even more. So thanks for all your comments. What does Jennifer have to say there?
Okay, I'm going to move it over there and let's see if I can get it back. Those mini pies are awesome and they travel like champs.
Oh, very good.
Do.
Yeah, they do, and that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, Jennifer. They really are good travelers. You can. Oh, let me show you one of our little arrangements here. Say you have somebody who's a really good friend, or somebody. I'm going to move this one just a little bit out of the way, so we can bring the other one in. Really good friend, maybe someone who's just. Maybe not, had a hard time, not happy, at the holidays. You really want to, brighten their spirits. You bring them this, and I guarantee you they will have their spirits lifted. Here's, why don't you do the overhead?
Let me do an overhead.
Yeah.
Let's see. There
So
you go.
this is, Bev does a very nice job of packaging these up for me. I have to move that a little bit, but this is, this is 4 of these chocolate chip cookie pies. That's on the recipe you'll see I talk about a chocolate glaze. I didn't do a chocolate glaze, I did a regular confectioner sugar glaze, but I thought about, and I probably will go back in and do that chocolate glaze in sort of the opposite direction, or sort of a diagonal to the confectioner sugar glaze I have on here. But this was really a good point about these traveling well. You know, you could take this, throw this in the back of the car or in the trunk, and take this to Grandma's house or over the hill and dale, wherever you're going.
Yeah, and I just put one sheet of the
Oh yeah,
of the paper in there.
yeah, tissue.
Yeah,
yeah.
tissue paper.
There's one sheet of tissue in there under. You could use that. What do you call that stuff?
The Excelsior.
The Excelsior, Bev, that's sort of papery, the thin papery stuff.
That's cut.
That's already cut. But Bev took these one notch further. She put them here. This time, do the front one, okay? She put them in these, what do you call these round things here? These paper, they're like paper liners. You probably got them at Home Goods or something like that.
Yeah.
That these pans fit into pretty much.
You just drop them right.
Pretty much
into
perfectly. Yeah, we just dropped them right in there. So anyway, so that's that. We're going to have to move on from pie and talk a little bit about some of our gift ideas. So, we ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm reading
Oh.
all of the comments. I don't want to miss any gold stars.
Yeah. Okay, so let's. You know, this is I sort of teased in the in one of the videos I did about some of the gifts that you could do for somebody at Christmas time, especially if they're pie makers or whatever. And this was my, I guess, my favorite idea, because I love these jars, and this has to do with you know, the step that everybody hates to do. That's a pain in the neck when you're making a pie shell. Everybody always says to me, "Do I really have to pre-bake or partially pre-bake the pie shell?" And I always say, yes, unfortunately, you do have to, because otherwise, if you have a liquidy filling in there, it's going to, you know, you're going to end up with a sort of a soggy, sodden bottom crust. So we have to, you know, like it or not, we have to line the pie shell with our foil and then pour in our beans. So at least I say beans. You know, I see these ads in the magazines and everything, and the catalogs for these little ceramic pie weights, and they're fine, but you know, they're pricey, and you need a ton of them to really have the same impact of the beans. So I go all in when it comes to beans. You've probably seen me pour. You know, I have a big, you know, quart plus jar full of beans that I use for mine. Anyone who's been to my classes has probably seen me do that. But here's a real classy way to do it. If you want to give somebody your favorite pie maker, a nice Christmas present, you would do it in a Weck jar. I'll hold it this way so you can see the beans. This is 1.5 liters. First of all, if you don't know anything about Weck jars, they're beautiful. Weck has their own website, and you should go see them. They have different designs. They have tulip shape. They're very graceful designs. This one is just a plain cylinder, but I loved it. One of the things I love about it is the size. So what you do is you get one of these Weck jars, and you take and put at least four different types of beans in there, and pretty much fill the thing. And it leaves this nice sort of striation here. And it would make just the nicest gift just like that. It doesn't need anything other than a bow, like the way Bev put on it. And then people can keep this in their cabinet. It weighs a lot. So people can keep it, and it doesn't really matter in the end whether they take it out of this jar and put it in another jar. They've got the beans then, and they've got a beautiful jar that they can do anything they want with. So this is a really nice idea for any pie maker on your list. So do that.
All right.
Yeah, and go and investigate. I put a link into this jar on your link page, but that'll just take you further into the Weck store. And you can see their other sizes. Like I say, their things are beautiful. Okay, what are we doing, sweetie?
Okay, I think we have another gold star.
Okay, the gold star is.
And the gold star is. Can you read it?
Oh, sure. Hat lover.
Yeah, that's
my first.
Ellen.
Yeah, Ellen, yes, of course. My first time eating and making chess pie was the mini chocolate one, and it was a big hit. Thank you, Ellen. I appreciate that. That's wonderful.
Yep, all right.
Okay, so you got a gold star. And while you're putting that in there, I'm going to move on to our next gift item. Now, here's something we hear about all the time that people love. When we were doing the in-person getaways, this was the thing. You know, we had all this expensive equipment and everything, food processors and lots of bowls and everything. But these were the things that everybody wanted to steal one of these and take it home with them. We're not giving one of these away as a gift, but this.
You don't know that.
Oh.
Oh, who do you think you are, Santa?
But anyway, this is, and if you've been to my pie making classes, you've seen me use this 1,000 times. But again, for you or for somebody who likes to bake, this is a great item. I love these. It's our little flour shaker. And
here.
What?
Here, let me just show you.
Anyway, that's our little flour shaker, and you fill it up with flour, and then as you roll your dough out, you just shake it, on the paper and on the dough, and it just puts down a nice little, dusting. That's one of the things I like about it. It's just sort of a dusting. You don't really overdo it. So for your pie maker friends, your pie makers, this is a great great item right here. Okay, so. Moving on, so we did the tamper.
Aww.
And now here's one that's really.
Aww.
What? Because of Inez, thank you, Inez. Inez says, because of you, I'm no longer intimidated when I make a pie. Well, that's really the whole idea behind the Pie Academy, to help people who may have been intimidated at one point to take that step, to be courageous and start making pie. And like I always tell people, there's a learning curve. You're going to have to love your ugly pies early on, because it's not one of those things. We live in an age where everybody wants to be an instant expert. Well, you know what? It's just not that way with almost anything worth achieving in life, and pie making is one of those things. So.
And what do they say? Practice makes
perfect.
No, practice makes progress.
Progress, yeah.
Yeah.
Or another way to put it, anything worth doing well is worth doing poorly first. So that's an expression I like. Now here's a cool idea, and those of you who've been to my classes know that I love these items too. This is something you might want to give to your favorite pie maker, and this is a really nice gift item right here. This is mine. This isn't going anywhere, but this is a pitcher bowl. You all have been to my classes. You've seen me use this one. I love this yellow one. When I saw this yellow one years ago, I probably should have bought 10 of them, because everybody loves this thing. And having one of these comes in so handy. And the reason it comes in handy is, how many pies do you make with sort of a liquid that are sort of liquid? I don't care whether it's a pumpkin pie or quiche with your custard or something like that, where it's just really a pain in the neck to have to pour the container into your pie shell. Who knows where it's going to go? It's probably going to go all over the place. Or to ladle it all into your pie shell, which I'm never very patient when it comes to ladling or stuff like that. Why don't you go to the overhead, sweetie?
Oh,
but to have they're tired of looking at me, please. to have something like this. Let me tell you one recent time, hours ago, when it came in really handy. This precision, the spout is what the cool thing, because it gives you precision. When I made these tartlets a little yesterday, to be able to pour the custard right into that little muffin cup and not have it go all up around the edges and make a mess. If I was ladling it, I'd have made a mess of it. But to have a nice pitcher bowl like this, you can be very, very accurate. And by the way, while I'm talking about these things, one important thing with these tarts is to make sure that you keep everything below the rim of your tart shell. because if it spills over, they're going to be hard to pop out of the pan. So just keep everything just a little bit lower than the top edge of that tart shell. So anyway, this would be the link I put in your links on your link page. It takes you to, and I'm not saying it has to be a Le Creuset bowl, obviously. I love Le Creuset, and we've gone there for years. But it doesn't have to be. I've seen some very beautiful American-made ones from different manufacturers. I did put a link in on Amazon just to give you a head start. So maybe, but I noticed that they were very low on colors. So, so poke around, see what you can find. Get one, obviously get one that matches your stuff that you like. But pitcher bowl, I would say very important. So, anyway.
Okay, I caught up on reading all of these.
Okay, very good. So, what are we going to do next? Are we going to, I guess we should put this back in the middle, make everything look pretty. Should we talk about our big announcement?
What's on
next?
What's on your next?
Oh yeah, oh of course. I'm not done with gift ideas.
Oh, we have, yes. Well, we have that, and we have that, and that.
Oh, well anyway, here's something that all of you are familiar with.
Let me see here.
And something, this was unabashedly self-promotion now, because the only place you can get these, you can get things like these. I'll turn this over here. You can get things like these anywhere, but it wouldn't be an official Pie Academy rolling pin. We actually, yeah, with these nice hash mark measurements on here, we sell a lot of these, and I think people are very happy with them because they're made from Vermont hardwood. They're all individually made by hand. We put, and the reason, like I've said a million times in the classes, the reason I like these is that it allows the pressure when you have a traditional rolling pin and that you have to push down on the edges, on the handles, because it has handles, you don't get quite the firm push that you do with a single piece pin like this. So this really comes in handy, especially when your dough is cold when you first start rolling it. These hash marks here are for, I think that's 8 or 9 inches, I forget, but that's some sort of a guide you can use when you're rolling out pot pie shells. Our pot pies usually are about this size. This is 13 inches, I believe, which is the size, the typical size you would use for a full pie. So those are handy guides that are built right into it. We have, if you want one of these for Christmas, I think we only have like 3 or 4 of them left. Yeah. And because our maker gets so busy around the holidays, we can't get any more until after the holidays. So if you want one, let us know right away. And if we're not going to be able to get it to you right away because somebody ordered before you, it'll be probably January before you get one. So just thought I'd let you know about these. And now this, we're not going to, this is, yeah.
That's the,
Yeah.
Keep that one a secret.
Okay. All right.
Dinner pies.
But that's something we're giving away.
No, stop telling. He's a terrible Santa Claus. He's not keeping
I'm sure none of you have ever seen this. I'm sure none of you have ever seen this before. If you love savory pies, there's some really good recipes in here. So I can't recommend this highly enough.
Oh. Okay, so I have another gold star.
Okay, another gold star.
Okay. Can you read that?
Yes. Mark, hi Mark, how are you? Mark is one of my New Hampshire buddies. It's been a challenging 18 months for Jossie, but you've been a bright spot in our lives each month. You are a sweetheart for saying that. We are now able to get back into our pie making and made 4 over Thanksgiving. Mark,
Good for you.
that's so nice to
I'm
hear.
putting Josley's name in.
Yeah, that's so nice to hear. Mark has been one of our regular attendees at our classes now for quite some time, and it's whenever Bev sort of goes down the greetings when we start a class, and Mark is in there. I'm always so happy to know that Mark is there, or Mark and Jossie. So thanks so much for saying so, Mark. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mark.
So now we have a special announcement we're going to make, and I'm not going to preface it with too much chat, because I made a little video about it, and this has to do with something that's coming up here at the beginning of the new year, and so why don't you? It's not pie either.
Ooh.
So let's roll the video for him, okay, sweetie?
Okay, and that is
That's
that
right
one.
there.
All right.
You know, I've often said, and I've heard a lot of folks say something like this, that my favorite meal is soup, salad, and bread. I mean, there's a perfect symmetry to a soup, salad, and bread menu, don't you think? And now that winter's arrived, I decided that I wanted to share some of my favorite soup menus with you. So beginning in January, I'll be teaching a series of live online classes that we're calling Soup Makes the Meal, a new soup, salad, and bread menu once a month in January, February, and March. Now, frankly, I'm having a hard time nailing down the menus because I have so many favorites in each of these categories, but suffice to say, you will not be disappointed. Now, each soup is going to be teamed up with the perfect bread, made from scratch, of course, so you'll have a chance to sharpen your bread making skills too. And we'll round out each menu with a complimentary salad, something fresh and crunchy and uncomplicated to remind us that even in the dead of winter, we can relish a taste of summer. And by the way, if the class title, Soup Makes the Meal, sounds vaguely familiar, it might be because you own a copy of my cookbook of the same name. Well, unfortunately, it's out of print for the time being, at least, but we're going to revive the spirit of the book and not to mention some of the best recipes in these live classes. So I hope you'll join us. We're going to have a lot of fun with these menus and turn you into a soup sensation. You can get more of the details below. And by the way, we still have an exciting new lineup of sweet and savory pie classes coming up this winter, so stay tuned for those too. And I'll see you in January. So, thank you. So that's the big news. That's the big announcement, and we're really excited about this. It's a little different. You know, our comfort zone is pies and baking, and this is still baking because we're going to do breads, a bread with each menu. But just to be clear about this, so we're doing one class a month. And each of those classes is going to have a soup, a salad, and a bread. And the format will be, if you've been to my classes, we'll be doing them in the same place, in the same studio kitchen here. We're just thought that, it's winter, everyone loves soup, and might as well try something fun like this. Now, I didn't put anything on your link page about this because I didn't want to tip my hand and put anything out there ahead of time before we had a chance to launch this video right now. However, at 8:15 tonight, I've scheduled an email to go out that's going to have the video you just saw and all the other information, as well as the registration area and everything else. And what I've done was, basically you can purchase it two ways. You can buy the basic 3-month class, 3 months worth of classes, but for a very special price, you can also give the course, you can give the classes to somebody for the holidays. And what we're going to do is, if you have a gift recipient, we're going to send them a special Jackie Lawson e-card and let them know, and then we'll follow up with them and send them all the pertinent details about the class. So classes.
Yes.
So be looking for that. Like I said, there's nothing on your link page about this, but at about 8:15 tonight, this email is scheduled to go out to each one of you with all the information about the new classes.
So
that
the
was
other
our.
pies will be one other.
Oh yeah,
Sunday.
and right, and that doesn't preclude our regular classes. We'll still do at least one.
Yeah.
At least one pie, sweet or savory pie class a month, and we'll mix it up from time to time. You know, we did coffee cakes a while back. That was very popular, so we'll mix it up too. But this is just some special series we're doing through the winter to keep us all sane. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I hope you're excited about that, or at least
Yep.
we'll get
Looks
excited
like it.
about it. Any comments?
Oh yes.
Let me see.
Oh, tons of them. Oh, Holly, that's a good idea.
Oh, Holly gives soup to friends for Christmas. That's great.
Give soup to friends.
Yeah,
for
because a lot of
Christmas
people
that don't eat sweets.
a lot of people don't eat sweets, so they're just watching their diet, and they. What else do we have in there?
Mark and Jossie love soup and salad.
Peggy
Can't
says she
wait.
can't
Yeah.
wait. That's great, Peggy.
Yep.
Susan says, "What a great way to start the year." That's great.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh,
Yeah. So like I said, all that sign. Hi, Jane. I saw Jane's name on there. Jane, if you're still if you're still out there, how you doing? Jane is one of our regulars too. She runs she has a little pie business. I don't know. It's probably big by now. She's such a great baker down in Louisiana, and she's the one I wrote an email to you a few weeks ago and talked about Jane, and I mentioned how she took one of the pies from our classes, which was the apple pie with the hot pepper jelly, which she said was like her favorite apple pie of all time. So she immediately adapted it to I forget the brand name, but to the pepper jelly that's made, the Tabasco
Oh, yeah.
hot pepper jelly, and started baking it and selling it down there on her regular route. And she said it's been very, very popular. And I hear from Jane a lot. So thanks for showing up tonight, Jane. That's great.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
So we have.
Let's see here.
So we're going to pull names, and again, the funny thing is we're going to pull names, but you're not going to know what you get. So.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah, we have special name pulling gear here that we have to put on.
Oh yes. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So.
Okay, here we go.
I'm the elf. Oh, and you're Santa, but you
Yeah.
weren't keeping secrets.
No, I'm not very good at keeping secrets.
You
Maybe you ought
aren't.
to pull. Okay,
All right.
so we got everyone's names in here, including the
Oh my.
the
There's
gold
a lot.
the gold star people.
Gold stars are
So
in there.
so we're going to pull what, 5 names?
5 names.
Okay, 5 names,
Okay.
and you're all 5 names of winners.
Hang on. Let's see. Cynthia Garrison.
Cynthia Garrison, congratulations.
Ooh. I'll put your name right
All
there.
right.
And you don't know what
You're
you're
our
getting.
you're our first prize winner. But if you are, didn't you say if they are prize winner, if they win a prize, you're going to let them know tonight that they won?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So we will.
I'll send
If you
you
did
an
win,
email.
if you did win a prize, you're going to hear about it tonight. Maybe not what it is, but you're going to hear that you won a prize.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Elaine Farrell.
Elaine,
There you go.
how wonderful! That's great. Elaine's another
Yay.
prize winner.
Oh my.
Who's the next lucky one?
Paula Smith.
Paula, congratulations! You're our 3rd prize winner.
Oh, this is so much fun. I'm not even winning. Jerry.
Oh, now this was one of our
One of the gold
gold
stars.
star winners. Very good. Congratulations, Jerry. Who else do we have?
3, 4. Okay, one more. Carol Turner.
Carol. Hello. Congratulations.
1, 2,
This is
3,
wonderful.
4, 5.
Very, very good.
There we go.
All right, so each
Oh
one of
my
you,
goodness.
will win a prize. We're going to let you know tonight that you are a prize winner, but Bev isn't going to tell you.
I'm not going to tell you,
what?
unlike Ken,
Yeah,
Santa. I'm not going to tell you what you've won because I think that when you receive it, you should be surprised.
And all I can say is it's a good thing we don't have to wear these hats for more than a couple more minutes because they are hot.
Yeah, especially with the lights, yeah.
Anyway, I know that was kind of a short party. I feel like we just sort of got warmed up. Well,
we're used to 2 hours.
Yeah, we're used to, when we do our online classes, we do them, for those of you who haven't come before, we'd love to see you, by the way, as we do new classes this year. And that's one of the things we wanted to accomplish with this party tonight, just to give you a flavor and a feel for what happens in our live classes. This table in front of me becomes our work area. And we use the overhead camera. So we have 3 cameras. Tonight we only have 2, but for the classes we have 3. We have sort of a straight-on one that looks at me for when I blab away. Then we have the important overhead one, which shows all the action. And then we have a side camera that's useful for very close-ups and sort of watching
for thicknesses of.
Yeah, and for stuff to be able to tell what thickness it was.
Right.
So, and Bev normally doesn't sit here. She sits over at the controls of the computer and operates everything over there. So then we talk back and forth. We put comments up on the screen like this. We probably answer a lot more questions than we did tonight because we get questions pertaining to the precise thing that we're doing at the moment. But it's a very, it's a nice, casual, but still, very much a learning atmosphere. And we love doing it. And we love all you guys who come and, like I said, have made this possible over the last year and a half or so, because this is just great. And by the way, we did have a question, I forget who it was from now, about the in-person getaways, and whether we're still going to be doing them. The jury is still out. If some of you are new here, you may not know this, but for 7 years running, we did in-person getaways where we did them in 3 different locations in those 7 years. The first one we did in Savannah, then like 5 in a row in Charleston, and then we did one in Woodstock, Vermont. And it was a great opportunity for those who wanted to come together. And basically it was just like we all hung out and baked all pies all weekend. And I tried to well, I guess I was the one who led the classes and gave instruction, but basically it was
and
just,
I told him what to do.
yeah, and she told me what to do. But basically it was just kind of a fun way to get together again, deepen our learning about pies. So the question, we've had many questions about whether we're going to do it again, and the honest to God answer is I just don't know. We had to cancel our last 2 because of COVID. And so it made us a little gun shy because there's so much advance work that we have to do to even announce it. So, but we will make a decision on that in the next couple of months. And because if we did do one, it would probably be springtime in Charleston. So we'll make a decision on that shortly. Okay?
Yeah, but probably not this spring, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, probably not this spring, but
There's
you never
so
know.
much, so much planning and everything that goes into it.
But anyway.
Oh, I'll tell you, this is just, this is the time of the year that people really, we just love being with family and friends, and it's just so nice to just take a moment and just, I don't know, rest, relax, reflect.
Yeah.
And
and this was our moment with our peeps.
Yeah.
This was our moment with you guys. But in addition, take moments. This is the holidays. Take moments. This is supposed to be a time to just sort of downshift, and I don't know how it happens, but we all seem to just start running around like crazy, even more. So take take some time to yourself this weekend, or not this weekend, this next month, and just just chill, have a good time, meditate, just drink a cup of tea, waste some time,
Yeah.
just do whatever.
Make some pies if
Yeah,
you
make
want.
some pies. Have fun, okay?
Yeah.
So anyway, we had fun with you guys. Thanks so much for showing up tonight. I know we have a ton of comments that we couldn't respond to because we've been yakking away here and doing other things. But thanks so much for your support and for showing up tonight. It was great to have you here, and I hope you got some inspiration, some tips you can use, and all that good stuff. So I think we're gonna log off now, and be watching for that email. It should come in around 8:15 with all the information about Soup Makes the Meal classes. Okay, Bev is
Hang on.
typing away, so I guess we can't log off. Okay,
There you go.
so long.
Happy holidays.
And happy holidays. Take care.